Okay, it's 8:30. I'll open the meeting up for September 12th for the Commissioners' meeting. And at 8:30, we have public input. Anybody from the public for input? Yes?
I just have a quick question. For the past year in the minutes, you haven't been putting in public comments.
Right.
And why is there a public comment on the draft of the September 5th meeting?
It will be taken out.
That will be taken out.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Kathleen, what date
Thank
did
you.
say that was?
On the September 5th meeting, it's
It's not opposed.
copy something right here. It says from the public.
Anybody else, public input? Yes, Mr. Brown.
Last week I asked you about the missing file,
Yes.
and you said you knew nothing about it.
Nothing about being missing.
What was missing?
The missing settlement file,
Yes.
and you stated you knew nothing about it.
I have those files locked up next to my desk.
Right, but you did say...
Which one are you talking about?
The one in reference to the former HR director's spouse?
I do have that one.
Right, but last week you stated you knew nothing about it.
Nothing about being missing.
I didn't know that it was missing.
But then when you released the April 25th non-public minutes, not only did you know about it, but you had a discussion about it.
So,
So why would
I don't
you
know.
say you knew nothing about it?
it wasn't missing, that's what you didn't know.
It wasn't missing.
Well, it clearly, people were being accused of stealing it.
That was taken care of.
So,
It was
am I
misfiled.
talking to you, Mr. Chairman, or should I be talking to Commissioner Solomen?
Why
should
can't
be
you talking to all of us? We are all commissioners.
Okay, all right, let's not get into this. To answer your question, it was missing for a certain period of time, and it was found, and it's back in the file. It may have been missing for a day or a couple of hours, I don't know, but it was missing, but it is back. Yes,
I do believe the problem with that missing file was attributed to one of the commissioners in the newspaper having had it. And instead, it was in your desk.
we don't know that, we don't know who had it. We can't prove who had it. Okay?
Well, you had it. In the paper said it was missing January 4th, and it was missing for 2 weeks. Now you said it was missing for a day or a couple hours. If it is January 4th and the file is missing for 2 weeks, it will found back in, have to say, the second or the third week from January.
May I ask what the importance of this thing is? This goes back to last year, and I don't see what importance
No,
it has
it is-
at this
Okay, all
meeting.
right, we're not gonna get into an argument.
No, it is
The file has been found, it's locked up. I don't know how long it was missing, because I didn't get the report right away that it was missing. If it was missing 2 weeks, it was missing 2 weeks. All I can tell you is, it's in the file and it's locked up.
Yeah, okay, I just want
What's
to
the
say.
purpose of
I just
bringing it
wanna-
up?
Okay, that is what you hear now, if you give me a chance
Point
to
of order.
speak. I want to say something.
No, wait a minute.
Who's-
Hold it,
I
hold
want to
it.
say something.
Mr. Brown,
The purpose of it is the truth. That's the purpose of it. It was discussed last week. That's why it's being discussed now, and the purpose behind it is whether people are telling the truth or not telling the truth. That's the purpose.
okay,
Okay, can I say
that's
something now?
that's it.
Okay, I'm going to say something. I have to add something.
If you've got documentation that say what you're going to say, we'll
Yeah,
listen to you.
Look at the release minutes. You just said no, the file was missing for a day or a couple hours. It was in the paper that Commissioner Kenney was accused for taking a file January 4th and was missing for 2 weeks. You had the same
Who-
statement.
Who
You
said,
had the
who
same-
said that?
It was in the newspaper.
Who said it?
The former HR director said her
Okay, I didn't
spouse's-
say it.
Her spouse's file was missing for 2 weeks, and it was found in 2 weeks, that is January.
Okay,
Now, you said that a file was missing for a day or a couple weeks, and it was found in your file lock cabinet. That
Okay.
was April.
okay.
So if you found it 1 or 2 weeks ago, it is April. So you see, you have two different stories, because the file was
Look,
never
look,
missing.
We're
The
gonna
file
end-
was
we're gonna
never
end this
missing,
subject.
it was hide.
We're going to end the subject.
Yeah, of course
No
you don't
further
wanna talk.
discussion on that
Of course you don't
subject.
wanna talk about it.
Okay.
I think-
Anybody else got any public input?
I was
Yes.
just quickly reading the minutes. What was the question about the walking trails and how much it's going to cost the taxpayers?
Was the what?
Who had that concern?
Mr. Brown.
The walking trails.
The walking trail. yeah.
Oh, I just don't understand what the concern was about how much it's going to cost the taxpayers.
I don't understand it either.
Okay, because that was the point, is all the money's been donated.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Who's gonna take care of it?
Mr. Brown, I'll give you one warning. When you go to talk, you ask permission from the chairman to speak. Otherwise, you're going to be out of order. Okay?
Well, this is a
Listen,
discussion about me.
did
No,
you-
no, don't raise your voice to me.
One warning. That's the warning.
Really?
Next time you speak out, I'm going to ask you to leave the meeting room. We're not going to continue this from
Oh,
week
but it's
after
all
week.
right for people to talk about me.
I'm out of here. He's out of here.
You just be quiet. Okay.
This is public input, you know. What do we have now?
We
Public
had,
input.
we had public input.
Okay.
Now we're going to go into the review or commissioners' minutes.
I thought that she had a question. Somebody
Who?
from public input, didn't she have something, a question?
He answered it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're done?
You have the minutes for last week?
Yeah. But I think we're doing the minutes at the end, you said.
Use what?
We said that we're doing the minutes at the end now.
Right,
No, no,
nobody
no,
here.
no, no. That was just because we were way behind.
Oh,
We
okay.
do the minutes right in the beginning.
Okay. Okay, first of all, I want to congratulate everyone who won the primary. And let me see if I had it with me here. I want to make a comment on the non-public minutes. The non-public minutes of the hearing, you released it. Remember a couple weeks ago about the Perry hearing, the jail? And then the week after, you
Right.
came back, and then you make a motion again. I said, we're going to seal it.
That's
You know,
right.
I was thinking, I don't think you can do that. If we start to release minutes, non-public minutes, it's going out, and then the other week said, oh no, I want it back with sealed. I think if you release it, it is released. I don't think that's right to do.
My comment regarding that would be that Mr. Perry had his day in this meeting. He wanted it open, and then he changed his mind the following week. And I guess we changed it the first because he wanted it open to the public, so we were going to release anything that pertained to him that was in non-public. We're going to release that so that we could talk about it the following week. He changed his mind the following week, we changed our mind the following week.
Yeah.
So now those minutes are sealed again.
No, yeah, I get that, what happened, but I don't think if you release non-public minutes, and then you can come back another week and say you sealed it again. I don't think that is right.
Well, we did
Because
it,
somebody can challenge us in court.
we did it.
But I don't think you can do it, it's not right. If it is released, it is released. I don't think you can just take it back. How many minutes are we going to take back what we do? We just released last week 2 sets of minutes. Are we at one point going to take it back and say, hey, we see
If
those
it's,
minutes
if it's the
again?
vote of the board, 2/3 of the vote of the board, we'll take it back. In that particular
But
case,
I think if it is already released, I don't think you get a point. I think if you already release it to the public,
Let's see,
I
let's
don't think you can take it back and say
Instead
we
of
seal
thinking,
it
let's see if we
again.
can find out the information about that.
we took it back. End of conversation.
I know
What
we
else
took
you
it
got?
back, but I
What
don't
else-
think
what
you
else
can
you
do
have?
that. No, I wanted to bring that up and, let's see. I
Okay.
think I left it down, just give me a second.
While we're waiting for that, are there any other items that need to be added to the agenda? We had a discussion,
Oh, yeah.
About what?
let me think a minute. It was at the interview.
Interview.
We decided to advertise for the MDS coordinator.
Yes.
Was that the only item?
Well, I think we were just going to announce it.
Yes.
It just needs to be announced.
No.
No, minutes-ish.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I think, we took
I
some,
want to add one more item,
did
and
we
it's,
not take it?
No, we are just going to announce and that we're going to.
We took a
don't
vote,
have-
we have to make an official
we
public
have to
vote on
announce
this.
it.
right,
Did you have any minutes on that? There were only two things that we did. Did you have any, that was a closed session at that time?
You
have
told me
that?
last that I didn't have to take any minutes
I know.
because it was a continue
But the-
about the in
But the
field.
motions, did you make note of the motions? So that we know what...
We did only one motion, that we're going to hire MEC, we're going to put it for advertising.
one item that I have to add to the agenda is the appointments to the Executive Committee of the New Hampshire Association of Counties. And we'll get to that.
Are we also going to announce that we're going to do an audit and look into,
That's right. That was the other item.
look into,
That was the other vote we took. Thank you.
from the MD
Yep.
coordinator,
Yep.
look at get an assessment.
That's the other...
But it is a money item, so.
Two
we need to
things that
say
we
how
want
much
to,
costs.
that we want to bring up this morning that was discussed and we voted on. One was to advertise for the MDS coordinator. That person has left. She's going to Wentworth Douglas Hospital as a nurse. That MDS coordinator brings in a lot of money to the nursing home. It's a very important position. We have somebody filling that presently, and we are going to advertise throughout the state to see if we can get a real qualified person to fill that. The second item, I've forgotten, what was the second item?
Was the audit of the MDS.
That's right, and we're going to have an audit.
It's in the
I
budget.
can't think of her first name, it's Axelrod, is going to come in and audit that MDS coordinator's work back for at least a year and maybe longer. The estimate was $3,000, and the board approved that. We need to do that when we change MDS coordinators. Also, because we're scheduled for a survey any day at the nursing home, we want to make sure that those records are up to date and correct. So that will be happening. Okay, where are we?
Yeah, I have the 25th minutes what you released. We didn't actually approve it or sign it. We just went ahead to release it. And I was asking a date for approval. So I just make a motion to approve the non-public minutes of July 25th, 2012.
I made some notes on...
On this?
You gave me a series of minutes, of closed minutes. I looked them over, made notes. I don't know whether this is what I made the notes on.
It doesn't has any notes.
You gave me a copy. I gave you back the copies.
I don't think I had a copy of this, though. I have only one.
So
Because
then-
I gave
Okay.
Commissioner Sorensen one. He said he doesn't have it anymore. So if he gave it to you, you have a copy.
No,
Give
no,
it to
you
me.
gave me
Okay,
copies.
okay.
No, I gave you the original.
Wait a minute.
You already read it. It was the one that you released. It's released. You need to sign it and date it. September.
Are you recommending that this be released?
You released this. Remember? But now we need to sign it and approve it. I told you that when you release it, we need to
Right, I
sign it
never
and
saw this.
approve it.
You're
But you
absolutely
never
correct.
did it.
Okay.
You just released it.
Now, is this the one that we released and then the following week?
That is, yeah, that is what,
Following
yeah,
week
that is
we-
what I told you. You release
Okay.
it 1 week, and 1 week said, no, you want to seal it again.
Okay, so this is to seal it again? This is not to
No, I
release it?
told you, we never sign off and we never approve it. When I gave it to you, I said, we need to approve it and sign.
Right,
But you said, no, I'm releasing it, so you just release it.
right.
So now, let's approve it and
Now,
sign
do
it.
you have the other non-public minutes where we resealed it? I'm not gonna sign this
No, we,
to show that
we
we're gonna
did that, that will be in the public minutes, because you sealed it in the public minutes, so you will see that.
Okay.
In a public meeting, you said you're going to seal it, so there's no minutes, non-public minutes to seal it again.
By the way, you're right, I never did see these. Did you say that?
Are you talking
What's
to
that?
me?
Did you say that?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
What? Can you point it out, what you said or not said?
No,
I do not.
you can't point that out.
What's that?
Right there. I didn't say that. I would
That's
never
when
have
you
said that.
signed up. Yeah, you did say that.
No,
I
he
didn't.
did not.
You did say that.
He never
No.
said
Yeah,
that
you
at
did
all.
say that.
In the correction of the minutes, that's gonna be taken out.
Listen, I'm going to bring that part for you. I have it on record. You
Fine,
did say
bring it
that.
in.
Well, Eric, are you referring to non-public or public minutes?
Non-public.
No, it is a sentence. You did say that. Because it is literally out from what you said. I'm not putting any other stuff in what you did.
Yeah, well, I need to see that.
Okay. You got some other minutes while she's reading that?
Yeah, I have the cover. Let me check something here quick.
This'll take me a while.
This is different than what you sent me. Because I got an email, but this is different. I see there are a couple things added, what I didn't see before. Is it already the correct, this is a draft, this is not correct, it's a draft. I didn't get this. I see a couple things that is new.
3 officers came in and hurry.
Babson
They're
got it.
listening to it.
Babson got it.
Oh.
At page 1, it said from the public, there was somebody came in, and you said that his wife had some comments. I think that he said that his mother had some comments.
Right.
So if you can change that.
But we're taking the whole thing
We're
out.
taking
We're
it
gonna
all
take that
out.
Okay,
For
so
public
you
comment.
take the response from the commissioner
Yeah.
there out, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have to look at that. So you go only put, see government oversight, eh? Public comment, see that, and,
Mhm.
so, okay, let me just cross it then. Is it anything, see if you want,
When there are public comments, I'd throw this open to both commissioners.
But listen, if we
If
taking,
there's public comments that the commissioners respond to, then that could go into the minutes. But for general purposes.
I don't think necessarily, because we often respond to things, but I think it's, if we take it as something that we're going to do, then
Okay.
would go into the minutes.
Okay,
I think if it is something important
That
That
then
we
if it were
point
that
out.
important, we would do it.
that we point out, I think that
Yeah.
should be in. But
I mean,
if you look at page 2, that it said also something public, then we should take that out too.
Which one?
It's said by Rep. Babson asks, that is also a public comment. Then we should take that out.
Well, there's a lot of questions that Representative Babson asks, and the commissioners respond to it, so my,
So what are we going to do is getting them to, what,
if they're
it's up to you.
important, then they would be in the minutes.
okay.
That's
So-
why we're-
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Babson.
Perhaps it would work better if you called the beginning, public comment, and later on, where you asked if there was any questions. First one would be public input, and the second one, public comment. Public comment could go in the minutes. I do believe that public input ought to be in there too, but that's another discussion. Just call it a different thing, so that when you point it out for the record 10 years from now, if they might want to know if somebody asks a question,
Yeah,
the answer is there.
okay. Point well taken.
Under Commissioner Kenny, at the end, she said she has the documentation from the manufacturers. I got it from the IT specialists, they got it from the manufacturers. Yeah, here, she has the documentation from the manufacturers.
How's the minute taker
From
gonna
IT.
determine what's important?
Thank you.
See, that's
She
why.
can.
Thank you.
That's
You're
why she
absolutely
needs
right.
to
She
work
can't do
with
that.
me, but it's not happening. She just type it up and it just go out already there.
But we're here on Wednesdays to decide what's gonna stay in and what's gonna come out, so that way we can finalize
Yeah, if
it.
we start to remember everything.
But that's why I put everything in there, so you can decide what's gonna stay
You're
in.
doing a good
Yeah.
job.
Thank you.
We're going to take a little bit longer to get it out.
Where are we?
So I think we will.
What did you just point out, Commissioner Kenny? The part about the documentation.
Oh, yeah, this. Here we go. By Commissioner Kenton, by my name. This one, this is the from I get it from the IT specialist and they get it from the manufacturers. It's not a big deal. Okay, that's it. Anyone had some corrections on the September 5th,
What
2012?
was, let's see what was taken out.
The first part of public input is
Okay.
taken out. What are we going to do with a non-public of the 25th?
Well, I'm not signing it unless that's
Wait.
corrected.
This one, take.
And I'm making corrections.
Okay, make the corrections, give it to me, and I'll look into it. And I'm going to get a piece out where you said that I have them.
You want time to look at those?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't need time to look at this one because I wasn't here.
Okay.
You can do what you want with that.
So I make a motion to approve the public minutes of September 12, 2012.
September 5th.
It's September 5th? Did you say?
Oh, September 5th, okay. 2012.
Okay, I'll second it with the corrections. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. So voted. Let's move on.
And Commissioner Solomon abstained?
Yes.
She wasn't here. You have time to review those.
Good, because
Let's move on to our agenda.
this is taking me forever.
At 8:45, we're supposed to have Commissioners' report. Commissioner Kenney?
And- Let's see. Yeah, and this. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it.
Commissioner Kenney, you attended the New Hampshire Association of Counties.
Yeah, I do, and you put my name there on it without consulting me. And.
I didn't think I had to consult you, I'd make up the agenda.
Yeah, you make
You
up
attended the meeting,
Yeah.
it cost the county taxpayers money to go. I would like to hear a report.
Yeah, it costs also taxpayers money to go, for you to go every time there. So you cannot only blame me. And you make up the agenda, that is fine, but if you put me on the agenda, you need to consult me, that I'm going to have to give a report.
I heard you were notified that you were on the agenda and you didn't appreciate it.
I get it in, but, okay, let's go from here. There were different opinions were given. There was a concern about the tax setting rate of the nursing home, that the nursing homes needed to pay for it. And I got a couple days email from Betsy Miller. She said that the nursing home don't have to pay anymore for the rate setting. So that was good news. And I will get something down. I'll be back in a minute and I will read it.
These minutes must have this at the end of them, not on the second page. Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Obviously, she's not prepared.
Surprise.
Are we going to, I don't know whether we have taken care of this, given are we going to vote here in public?
Sure.
Okay, so we have to vote in public.
Yep.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman, are you in recess right this minute?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
Um,
apparently she's going to get a report or something.
Can I bring up something that happened at the presentation of the IT, of the telephone thing? Or do you want me to wait for public?
This is regarding the jail?
No, just for the phone system.
Yeah.
I
Regarding
just
the
want to
jail.
remind you that we were told that they're no longer making parts for the current system.
Yes.
And that I believe I speak for the other two, that you ought to seriously begin thinking about getting together a request for quote for the,
For a total
For-
replacement?
or the jail, either one. I mean, the parts aren't available here. They'll be available until they run out, but
But interestingly, at that subcommittee.
that's right, you were there, Doc.
Yeah, at the subcommittee meeting, it was interesting that he said that you can go to other
Yes.
dealerships and find these parts.
Yep. I don't know, he said dealerships, but
Well,
there's
yeah,
places in the
other places,
world that
yes.
have these parts that
Yes,
you can
and
do
the
it.
question came to mind is, I'm assuming he meant anybody's parts, not just his
That's
parts.
how I took it too.
Yeah,
But I don't know whether you want to start thinking about what you're going to do about it, or,
But you're talking strictly about the jail, right?
no, I'm talking about the telephone system in.
The whole
We
complex?
held it for, it started out with the jail telephone system
Right.
because they're going to be out of parts.
Yeah.
Then somewhere along, it morphed into, maybe we should be thinking about having the whole campus on the same phone system.
Right.
So we had Mr. Blackbox in, and then
Right.
we had
Yeah.
Mr. Teletechniques in. And I just, I don't want to let the thing continue to slip, so 6 months from now, when there isn't anything left in the world to
yeah.
rebuild ours, that somewhere along the line, someone's got to start thinking about what they want to do
Yeah,
for a phone system.
Yeah.
And currently, the jail is the problem, yes.
Currently.
Or if you're gonna go with Teletechniques, he's already over here. If you're gonna go with black box, they're out of parts, and you gotta figure out what you're gonna do with that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Now we're
okay,
back
so,
in session again.
yeah, Commissioner Sorensen just make a comment, he said, it costs money to go to Concord. Are you putting in, you get paid by the
Yes,
taxpayers or
I
not?
am. I am.
So why are you saying that I'm costing money and you not?
Because you're not on the executive committee?
Well, it doesn't mean.
Let me
Because
read.
when I was just elected, you also said that I have to go once a month.
And I have
they
told you
me
since
I
then
can
that you
go-
do not have to go
And
once a
I can
month.
go once a month.
You were
Okay,
asked, wait a minute, let me finish. You were asked to go to get information as to how this New Hampshire Association of Counties operate. But you're not on the executive committee. Let me tell you who's on the executive committee.
You already
And-
told it last week.
Ann Eaton, Jason Johnson, Sandy McKenzie was, she'll be replaced. Robin Reed was, she'll be replaced, and Dorothy Solomen. I am not on that executive committee because I'm the president, so I'm not included. Every county has 5 people on the executive committee. Those are the ones that should go and should get paid.
Okay, so I get a binder from the New Hampshire Association, and it stays on the desk, and every employee can look in it if they want to look into it. And I'm going to point out a couple important things. It said here, the most importantly is the board is the entity with the authority to take action. As an individual board member, you lack that power and authority. All 3 members have equal votes and equal authority. As a county commissioner, you can only exercise your power and authority through formal board action.
You finished?
As a county commissioner, you are a member of the county board.
Exactly.
You are only one member of the team of 3.
They're talking
Okay,
about right here.
that is what I
Are you
want to
finished?
point out.
That book reflects what a county commissioner's duties are, and that reflects what you do here,
Right here.
and has
Yes.
nothing to do with the New Hampshire Association of County meetings.
Yeah, but I'm
No
not talking
buts.
about that. I said I want to point something out, the book what I get at the council commission.
Fine.
Because I read it because it seems that some people don't know. All 3 members have equal votes and equal authority.
Yes, here.
That's
Yeah,
here.
okay.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. That is what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Okay.
That is what I'm getting from.
Okay.
Okay, that is what I wanted to point out.
Excellent.
So, do you have a report from the New Hampshire Association?
I just
of Counties?
said what was the most important things, and I didn't make any notes, and I didn't bring any notes, because it was more talking. A question was asked about a nursing home or something, and everyone just gave an opinion. It was not really that there was a guest speaker or something that you have to make a report about. You were there.
That's correct. I was there. I led the meeting. I sure hope I was there. Okay, apparently you don't have a report to give, so we're going to move on to hold the minutes wherever we are. We're getting late. We're going to stay on the agenda. I'd like to call on John Rich, Cybertron.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, Commissioner Kenney, here we go again.
Yes.
How about we start with the latest allegations and move backwards from there?
Okay, well.
Okay.
First of all, let me state that I find it interesting that you would choose to launch these latest allegations at a meeting that you knew in advance that I would not be attending, although I'm certainly not surprised by your choice. So let's begin by reviewing last week's meeting. Last week you stated, and I quote, please bear with me, it's going to take a few minutes. Last week we have John Rich here of Cybertron. I was asking about $53,000 to the line that he put in the new nursing home because he gave me a bill or an invoice was actually fake. Mr. Sorensen chimed in at $43,000. Commissioner Kenney then continued on, no, it was $53,000. It was actually fake. So I went to do some research and called the manufacturer and other IT companies to see what they are using, to see what they are doing, and to say that it is really fake and they need some more information. Can you ask him some more so we can give you the prices? And when I asked him last week, because the bill was fake, so I said, do you have receipts or something else? He said, oh, it's none of your business. So I went only with what I have, and I have all the numbers. I was actually surprised how cheap the parts were, and the total, what I have, is not more than $5,000 for the parts that he bought for the new nursing home. And exactly what he put on the paper is what I get from the manufacturer. As a matter of fact, 2 things are discontinued, so you said that you have a replacement. One thing they told me that they wrote down was not commercial grade, but home grade, and it doesn't take long to put in. And he charged for the parts $43,000, and that's why he said it was none of your business. The parts doesn't cost that much, and talking to other IT companies, they said it doesn't take long to put in the fiber line. The wireless for the new nursing home, that even $7,500 was too high. But this never went out to bid. If this was going out to bid, you would have somebody else doing the job for $10,000 or $15,000. So this was not looking out for the taxpayers to just give this to Mr. Cybertron for the job for $53,000. And I have the documentation. Yeah, I have the manufacturer's stuff. Mr. Sorensen added, yes, I'd like to see it. Commissioner Kenney said, yeah, I have it all. Mr. Babson then chimed in with, last week, Mr. Chairman, the figure was $43,000. Mr. Sorensen commented, $43,000, yeah. Ms. Kenney said, nope. Mr. Sorensen said, it's in the minutes. Ms. Kenney then continued, well, that is the parts. Then he charged his time there like $7,000, $5,000. So the actual bill is $53,000 because he gave me the bill, his invoice. Mr. Sorensen continued, well, there has to be documentation, and in the minutes we just approved it was $43,000, so that's what we have to go by now. Unless you can prove that otherwise, then the $43,000 stands. Commissioner Kenney said, because I think he mentioned that it was $43,000, and when I got the exact bill, it was $53,000, so we have that invoice. To which you look at your paperwork and replied downstairs. And Mr. Sorensen finished up with, you don't have to show me now, but I'd like to see it before next week. So let's start by clearing up some of your inaccuracies. Everything I am about to say can be verified courtesy of Mr. Comeau and his video camera. First, I never stated $43,000 or any other numbers. All numerical quotes were provided by you, Commissioner Kenney. I provided a copy of Cybertron's invoice to Carroll County for the amount of $53,050, of which $7,500 was listed as installation labor, which makes the parts total to be $45,550. Any numbers other than these were not stated by me. Second, the equipment is not to install fiber optic lines, something I have stated several times over these last several weeks and months. I have pointed out to you several times now that I do not install fiber optic lines, but connect them and make them operational. What I did on this project was to install the entire infrastructure throughout the new nursing home, which included connecting the fiber optic lines between the server room and the 8 IDF closets. Third, you stated that this project was not put out to bid. The MVNH Building Committee interviewed 3 IT companies for this project and made their own decision as to whom to give this project to without any input from me or my company. You're welcome.
So, excuse me, how do you know that?
Let him finish, let him
How do
finish.
you know that?
You
Where
can bring
did
it-
you get
You're
that
welcome to
information?
verify this information
Wait a
with
minute,
former
let him
Commissioner.
finish.
You are welcome to verify that information with former Carroll County Commissioner and MVNH Building Committee member Chip Albee.
So you have the information from Jabelmi.
That is what he told me. So now let's go over the rest of your statements. You stated, so I said, do you have receipts or something else? He said, oh, it's none of your business. And I was actually surprised at how cheap the parts were. In the total, what I have is not more than $5,000 for the parts that he bought for the new nursing home. For the record, I did refuse to give you my costs on all this equipment. Quite frankly, I'm appalled that you even asked such an inappropriate question, what I pay for my products. But again, I'm not surprised. For the record, my corporate proprietary information is exactly that, my corporate proprietary information. And keeping it proprietary helps keep me in business. What I did provide you was the manufacturer's suggested retail price of each and every item on that invoice and copies of the invoice of what my company actually charged Carroll County. So, let us review this information in detail. I installed the following equipment. 1, D-Link DWS 3024 wireless controller. The MSRP on this item was $6,000. Cybertron's price to Carroll County was $5,000, a savings of $1,000. And as you yourself pointed out, this item was discontinued as of last week when you made your latest allegations. As of last year, when I sold Carroll County this item, it was not yet discontinued, but it was considered an end-of-life product. So, Cybertron actually installed the DWS 4026 controller, the next level product, to ensure that MVNH was kept up to date with the latest technology, which has an MSRP of $8,000 at no additional cost to Carroll County, for a total savings of $3,000 on this one item alone. I installed one DGS 3612 managed switch, and this is what connects the 8 fiber optic lines to the IDF closets. MSRP $1,500, Cybertron's price $1,400, savings to the county of $100. We installed 9 DGS 3100 24-port PoE switches. Again, you pointed out that this item is discontinued. However, 15 months ago, this product was a current product. 15 months ago, the MSRP was $1,280 each. Cybertron's price, $1,200. Savings to Carroll County, $80 per unit for $720 total. We installed 18 DEM 311 GT fiber optic gigabit transceivers. MSRP $300, Cybertron's price $205. Savings to Carroll County of $95 per unit, which amounts to $1,700 in savings. We installed 25 DWL 8600 access points, 24 on that particular invoice and 1 which was added later. MSRP $800, Cybertron's price $650. Total savings to Carroll County of $3,750. We installed 1 SonicWall VLAN firewall, MSRP $2121. Cybertron's price was $1995 for savings to Carroll County of $126. We installed 9 APCC rack mount UPS, MSRP $615, Cybertron's price $575 for total savings of $360. We installed the rack shelf, MSRP $170, our price $125, savings of $45.
How long are we gonna be going here? You got several pages there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
This
that
particular
information, to me, I don't know that much about it. I don't know what you're talking about, other than the point you're trying to make is that you were saving money to the county on
Right,
all
and
those
I'm
items?
gonna bring that in just a moment.
Okay.
So, we installed the gigabit transceiver, we installed fiber optic patch cables, again with more savings. So to summarize, the total MSRP of this equipment that Cybertron installed was $55,380. Cybertron charged Carroll County $43,550, or $11,830 less than MSRP. We have previously established that you may not fully understand the concept of exactly what thousands and thousands of dollars entails. However, I will state that, in my opinion, $11,830 in savings does in fact qualify as thousands and thousands of dollars. You stated that quote, "I was surprised how cheap the parts were. In the total, what I have is not more than $5,000 for the parts that he bought." You stated, "I have the documentation. Yeah, I have the manufacturer's stuff." Direct quote. Please, Commissioner Kenney, may I see your proof?
I have it, I have to redact the stuff, and then I will give it to you. I will give you how much it costs. These are the other IT companies. They were going to do the job for that, and they look up all the parts too, what they are getting. They are doing regularly these things. If new building, the whole infrastructure and everything, and that is what they're asking for, and that is how much it costs. That is what I brought out. You do all kinds of number, that is your numbers. If it was put out to bid, it was the correct way. We have another IT company was doing the job for between $10,000 and $15,000. That is what I'm pointing out.
Okay,
Because
I'd
I
like
have
see
to look
that.
out for the taxpayers and not you.
I understand that, and I'm asking to see your proof. You stated
And I
that,
already stated how much it costs. I went for each item, how much it costs. because that is what the IT company is charging other places. So you can come with whatever number, I have the number, how much the exact price is from the patch.
Great, I would like to
What-
see that, please.
May I ask why you have to redact something?
Why do you have to take something out of it?
I have to redact the name who gave it to me. I don't want to put manufacturer's name or other
not?
IT company's name on it.
Why not?
It's public information.
Yeah, it's public, yeah. Well, I'm going to take the name out. I already said how much it costs, each item.
I don't believe I've heard that.
No, I already said that. I said it last week. I went to each item and I said how much it costs, and it was a total
I
of
believe I just
5,000.
read everything you stated, and I didn't hear
Of
that.
$5,017.
I-
So that is what I got. I had 3 different IT companies look at it, and they came with the same thing, and that is what they charging, that
All
is
right,
the
look,
price.
look.
I just want to bring out that you overcharge the county, whatever price you come.
Commissioner Kenny, you need to bring in documentation. You're
Without
talking
redaction.
about figures that are out there somewhere.
No, I'm
You
talking
need to
about
bring in
this
the
figures
figures.
here, this figures here.
Those figures right there,
Yeah,
can
here.
I see it?
Everything
Yeah.
Everything is look up how much his patch costs, and they
Yeah.
give the exact price what it is. It is not this. And this come total, what he has here is $5,000. Everything what he bought here
Yeah.
is $5,000.
Are you familiar with this?
I have not seen this, no.
No, he gave that to me.
Yeah, this is
You
a
gave
copy,
that to
this
me.
is a copy of my invoice, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my own copy right here, I provided it.
But I don't understand why you have to redact anything.
But that is not, the point is about the money.
The point
is the
is,
point.
if you did the research and you have other companies that are quoting products, those are public information.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Bring
how
it
do-
here and
how
we
is
will
one to
discuss
know
it.
Where they came from. If you redact the names of the companies
Then
that
it
you're
doesn't
getting,
mean anything. It's
how
your
does one
word
know that
against
those are real
his.
companies?
These are real IT companies.
That's what-
I will call the manufacturer myself and I'll write out the name.
I
We
believe-
need-
I
we
believe
need-
you already said you
No.
did that, Commissioner
We
Kenny.
need a letter from those companies saying this is what their quotes are.
With their names.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the cost. I will do it myself. I will write it up myself.
That is-
No,
that
that's
doesn't make
not-
any- that
that's
doesn't
your
do
word.
anything.
Which
It's not
doesn't
my
prove.
word. Okay, it will come from a company then.
With their name.
Yeah, it will come from the company.
Okay. All right, yeah, you got more, you want?
I have quite a bit more to cover. We're gonna go over each of the things that I feel are inaccurate. You stated one of the items was not commercial grade, but home grade, and it doesn't take long
Yes.
to put in.
That's
Which item was
right.
that?
Hold it, go ahead.
Which item was that, Commissioner Kenny?
I think if you listen to it, because you watched the meeting, then you will hear it. It was,
It was not mentioned as to which item.
yeah, I said which item it was.
Well, which item was it?
I have to look it up, see if I have the information here. But I said it last week, which one it was. Because they check
Said
it out
last
and
week?
they say if they were going to do the job, they use only commercial grade.
Yeah, you said that
is
one
what
item
it
was
is.
not commercial grade. Which item?
You know precisely that I said that, so you know what I said.
Oh,
Which, he's asking which item.
Yeah, well, I have to look it up. So go ahead with another question, I will look it up.
We need to move on and get to the bottom line here pretty soon.
We got a few things that I have to point out before we get to the bottom line. And if you'll give me a little leeway, you'll understand. You stated that I submitted a fake invoice. Again, where's your proof?
Well, I said the invoice was not really detailed. You give an invoice, but I don't think it was really detailed.
I gave the
Because
exact parts that installed. I'm not sure what more detail you need.
Well, I don't think it was really detailed, because when I asked the IT company, said, do you have more details? And I said, I will ask. They didn't find it was detailed enough. I called somebody else and I look how much the parts are costing, so. So go ahead. What do
You
you
stated
have?
you would have somebody else doing the job for $10,000 or $15,000.
Yes.
You said you'll bring in that information.
They look,
Eagerly awaiting that. You stated, quote,
I didn't say that I bring that information. I said the parts are $5,000. The cost, it doesn't take so long to do it. And now you said they just hook it up. It doesn't take a half day. It take maybe a couple of hours to do it.
Who said that?
your quote last week was, but this never went out to bid. If it was going out to bid, you would probably have someone else doing the job for $10,000 or $15,000.
Yeah, it was
Direct
cheaper.
quote.
Yeah,
Thank
Do
you.
you have proof of
yeah,
that?
they're going to do it cheaper. Other IT company told me.
Who?
He said,
Who?
You need, bring,
He said-
you need to bring that information
yeah, it's
in.
going to be done cheaper, but first, it's just like how you get an IT contract, nobody comes around. They need to come look first what needs to be done, how it is.
That's-
But the parts is all ready. He said this is what the parts cost is. And if this is the cost of the parts, it will not take that long to do it.
Again,
Finish
where's your
with yours.
proof?
I already said the numbers.
Okay, okay.
I'm
Finish.
looking-
The
I'm
bottom
looking for
is
proof.
you're overcharged the county, that is the issue.
Please prove it. You stated, so I went to do some research and called the manufacturer and other IT companies to see what they are using. Exactly who did you speak with at the manufacturer?
I don't have the response to you, and I'm not reporting to
Okay,
you.
she doesn't know.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Thank you. What other IT company did you speak with?
why you wanna know? It's none of your business. You see? You come, it's none of them, no, it's none of my business if I do my research and who I speak with. And most of the people don't
Well,
even
then-
know you.
Then you can't comment if you can't document the people you
I
talked
have,
with.
I have the numbers.
Well, bring it
Okay,
in.
so the invoice.
We've
will
asked
come.
that now for the last 6 weeks.
No,
Bring
it's
in the
something else.
documentation, and you have not done it. Go ahead.
Okay, let's move away from last week finally. 2 weeks ago, you stated, quote, that he has never paid and that it is part of his contract when referring to the free meals that I had been getting.
Yes, I hear that you told somebody it's part of your contract.
I asked
I
where
checked
you,
your contract,
Okay.
it's not in your contract.
okay, I asked you where you get that information from, and you still have not answered me. Commissioner Kenney, again, where did you get this information from?
Listen, employees
Because
don't-
as of right now, the only person to have ever made such a statement is you.
Employees don't want to get fired, okay? They don't want to have their name out.
So
No
you have no
document.
answer.
She has no
Employees-
documentation.
Employees don't
Thank
want to
you.
get their name out,
Thank
but I
you.
have proof.
She
I
has
have
no,
different employees
she
are
has-
saying that.
if she's got proof, she has not brought it forward. Okay, go ahead.
Because,
We need to
listen, the
finish.
proof is, he said he's getting free meals because his answer was it wasn't been offered. So that means
You
he's getting the
show
free
us.
meals.
Show us.
You are so quick defending him.
I'm
No,
stating for the
he's-
record, I never
he's-
said
cannot
such a
Wait
thing.
a minute,
Slur
wait a minute,
people.
wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah, you are
He-
so quick.
He is giving the facts. You have
He
not.
doesn't give any, he just said that he is offered free meals. That means he never paid for anything. The issue is that he never paid for anything, is getting free meals, and he's still getting away with it. Now you want documentation and proof.
I do.
I don't think that anyone from, except the employee can come and just take the food and just run away and walk away. I think it is plain wrong.
Well, that's your opinion, and you don't have any proof. So right now,
Well, the employees who are there.
he's got the documentation of things that you've said, and you haven't been able to justify them. Please continue, because we're gonna cut this off pretty soon, so let's get to the bottom here.
Over 2 months ago, you stated that you had information that Cybertron billed Carroll County thousands and thousands of dollars in March 2012 for new PC installations. We've since established it was not thousands and thousands, but in fact under 2,000. You used this alleged information to suggest that I, quote, suddenly found millions of stuff to hook up, end quote, just prior to the contract expiring, knowing that this year's contract would include that work as part of the contract. This allegation directly questions my integrity not only as an IT provider, but also as a businessman. I have asked you several times since then to produce this alleged information. Commissioner Kenney, you have had over 2 months to produce this information. I've answered every last question you have asked of me and provided you with every last piece of documentation you have ever requested, with the one exception of when you asked for Cybertron proprietary information, yet you still continue to ignore my questions and my requests. Commissioner Kenney, where is this alleged information?
As I told you, no company is charging a hookup fee. No one. Everyone is surprised that you're charging $300. And also for spam filter, you're charging. Most companies, no, all the companies don't even charge for spam anymore. It's all free now. but you are charging.
Are you saying that they do not charge any installation fee?
They don't charge for the spam. He's also charging for spam because I asked the IT company, I said, I see a bill for $600. He said, why is he charging for spam? The companies are not doing it anymore, charging for spam.
Okay.
And nobody's charging a hookup fee. And the other thing, Barracuda.
You mean they come in and do it for nothing?
Spam. If you have a IT guy here, it is just part of what they are doing. They don't charge for it. And also the Barracuda I get from another IT company. He just put it in for somebody else, a Barracuda backup, because she said, oh, it was $12.99 because she had a year serve or whatever in. He said it was $1,000 included for the whole year service and whatever. So it is still the $1,000.
And you have documentation for this,
It was
please.
$800.
You gotta, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you, but you have got to come in with some documents from these other companies. Otherwise, your word is not very good. It's
Well,
your
he-
opinion that this is happening.
He knows precisely what I'm talking about.
You need to bring it in,
I don't.
otherwise, we're
I
not
will,
gonna talk
I
about
will
it
bring
anymore.
some stuff in.
Finish up, please.
Actually, I don't. I'm down to my last two.
Okay.
Okay. So let's review what has occurred over the last 6 months, beginning with the IT contract. The original bid process followed the county's bid process to the letter. You did not like the outcome, so you asked for an extension of the bid period, and you personally went out and solicited other IT companies to submit bids, something unusual, if not unprecedented. You brought one of these companies before the board and allowed them to make a presentation, a courtesy that was not offered my company or the 3 other companies that also submitted bids. After the IT committee made their recommendation, you insinuated that I influenced their decision without offering a single shred of evidence other than you see me talking to county employees in the hallway. You stated that I wrote the bid specs in such a way that only I could be awarded the bid, even though 5 bids were submitted, again, without a single shred of evidence. Once the bids were reviewed and Cybertron's bid proved to be the lowest bid of all the bids that met the bid specs, you still voted against awarding the bid to Cybertron, all the while complaining about the bid process, when in fact, the only thing irregular about the whole bid process was everything that you had anything to do with. You claimed that my prices for installing new PCs as part of last year's contract was, quote, ridiculous, again, without a single shred of provided evidence. You claimed that I charged, quote, thousands and thousands of dollars to do these installations, when it was actually under $2,000. You claimed that I manufactured billable work just prior to the contract expiration, again, without a single shred of evidence. Twice you have accused me of overcharging the nursing home for their backup appliance after, right, so it's now 3 times, after I have already provided you with proof that my price was actually very competitive. More recently, you stated that I claimed that free lunch was part of my contract, which again, I never stated, and again, without a single shred of evidence. You claimed that I submitted a fake invoice to you, again, without a single shred of evidence. You asked me for proprietary Cybertron company information and acted like I was doing wrong by not providing it. You stated that the equipment I installed in the nursing home with retail value of over $55,000 actually cost not more than $5,000, again, without a single shred of evidence. You stated that some of the equipment was home grade, not commercial grade, again, without a single shred of evidence.
Okay, I have it.
I'm not done. You stated that you talked to the manufacturer again without a single shred of evidence. You stated that you talked to other IT companies about this equipment and that the installation should have been quick and simple without a single shred of evidence. It's quite a list. Madam Commissioner, I demand that you either provide proof of each and every one of your claims or that you once and for all cease and desist with these uncorroborated defamatory remarks, that you retract these allegations, and that you publicly apologize for making them in the same public forum that you launched them. Commissioner Kenney, let me remind you that you were not elected to pursue your personal agenda, but to serve the best interests of the people of Carroll County. I would have thought by now that you would have figured out that I am not going to sit by idly while you launch attack after attack against me and my company, but that I will return to these meetings as many times as necessary, armed with proof of the truth. Commissioner Kenney, I am not going away.
Is that a copy that the board could have? Could you make a copy of that for us?
I would be happy to email it to all 3 of you.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, you cannot demand me for anything, okay?
You can't what?
You cannot tell me what to do, be demand. You cannot demand me anything, and yes, I'm elected. I'm not even a taxpayer from here. We had other IT companies, if it was fair, the process, I think they were doing a better job and they would be in. You also said, and everyone was saying that the RFP was taken from Belknap County. I have the RFP from Belknap County. It doesn't even look like that, it is much shorter. And to go back on your home grade stuff, it was the GGS 3612G. It has been discontinued by the manufacturer. And it is home grade, it is not commercial. That is what I get. That is what you put on and that is what I get.
So you're saying the
And
24
you want to
port
have the
PoE
prices
switches?
from all of it, the fiber line? I have the GWS 3024, that is $1,000, and that is new. We don't know what you used, because you never put it here. So, and the price is what I get is, the DGS 3612 has been discontinued by the manufacturer. It is home grade, it is not commercial. But they use something else, and it costs $1,300 what they use. That's a good one, that's a commercial price, if you have a commercial one, or the home grade that you use. The DG310024P is also discontinued, but what they use, they find something else for $370. The DEM311GT is $23. And the GWL6600AP is $380. But other good reputable companies, they say they don't, why you use that, the ubiquity unified, you can have a better coverage, what is more efficient for under $100. And also you buy a couple of switches of what, they say, what is the firewall here make of? The nursing home, you don't need all the switches. At least one for all the 2 switches to do it efficient. That is how they work.
Can I ask how you would cover 9 locations with 2 switches?
It's at each floor.
We have,
And you doesn't specify the model of the sonic wall. So, can you specify that, the model of the sonic wall?
I would have to verify, but to my recollection, it's an NSA 240.
And this way it doesn't specify that, that is what they mean, they wanted to have details. And they have something else, and that costs around $700. The Deluxe Pro 4060 is $1,000. They don't work well with D-Link switches, the one that's specified above. And SonicWall and most techs recommend Cisco or HP ProCurve switches. And the APCC, the rack mount, the average about $250. You doesn't say what size or capacity, so I don't have that. That was a question they had. And your rack shells, it is not really specific what you use or what you had got, but the average what it cost is $25. And the gigabyte fiber transceivers is $200. And the LCSP patch cables is $20. And patch cables and MISC, and there's a question, they say large padding here for the install. The hardest part is the sonic wall configurations. This is good money for that work, the rest. I thought that, I said you had to do the electric and everything else, that was a lot to do. So they say it's going to be like a half-day work if they had to do the job. But then I went back and said no, because Commissioner Sorensen said last week it went out to bid, somebody else did all the electric. You just had to hook up stuff. And they say they do it regularly, and it usually takes then a couple hours. It doesn't take that long. That is what I got from what you gave here to me.
Okay, what I would suggest you do, he has his all documented, all in writing.
I got it.
Would
He
you
gave
do
me
the
this.
same thing in what you just talked about?
Yeah,
So
I
we
can-
could have
I-
it for the record,
I
for
can.
this meeting?
I can print it out.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
I would expect that there would be an actual quote from another IT company to
I can
verify
do
this
that.
information
Yeah, I can do that too.
With a name.
with names.
I can
Okay.
answer.
Are you all-
I can answer
I
IT
do have,
specialist.
this is D-Link's MSRP of all this equipment that corresponds with everything that I have stated here. For the record, the DG 3612 managed switch is a 12-port fiber optic switch. I'm not sure who, other than perhaps Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, would have 12 fiber optic lines in their house. So I'm not sure how it could be home grade.
Well, that is what they look up. That is what it comes about. You gave me that, and that is what they
Okay.
look up. Because they putting everywhere line and things too. So you said
is
it
this
is
thing?
commercial grade?
Who is this in?
Okay.
IT companies.
All
It's
right,
not
look,
the
look,
only
look.
IT company around.
We're going to stop this conversation. I'm going to say once again, Commissioner Kenney, you put all your accusations, all the stuff that you've researched in writing, and that should go to Mr. Rich. He has provided that to the board, then he can do whatever he needs to do with his attorney or whatever, and we're going to move forward. We're not going to continue to argue back and forth as to who did what research was found. You need to put it in writing. He has already got it in writing, and we need to end this conversation and get on with our county business. Okay? Any final word? Enough said. Okay. Thank you. I don't see Mr. Howie. Oh, Rob Horas, Jason Johnson. I would like to, at this time, make a...
Oh, here's Howie.
Okay. I would still, at this time, like to make appointments to the New Hampshire Association of Counties Executive Committee. I would recommend and nominate Janice Sullivan, our HR person, to be appointed to the New Hampshire Association of Counties Executive Committee. Do I hear a second? Motion made and seconded that Janice Sullivan would replace Robin Reed on the Executive Committee. All those, any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those negative say nay. Then it's so voted. At the time, we have a full replacement, a permanent replacement, at the, as administrator of the nursing home. We would then make a motion to appoint that person. We can do that now as a replacement, or we can wait to find out who that replacement is and name that replacement.
I think we should wait.
We should wait, okay, I agree with that. Okay,
As long as we're doing quick motions, could we do the MDS?
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I move that we put out for bid, for an RF, no, it's for
Advertisements
Advertisement.
for the
the
position.
position of MSD coordinator. We already voted on this in non-public session, so I think we should vote on it in public session.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And unanimous, so voted.
And we need to vote in public on the auditing of the MSD
Records.
I move that we hire an auditor to do the MSD records.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? That's estimated at about $3,000.
About $3,000.
Okay.
So
Which
we
is in
put
the budget.
$3,000,
It's in the budget.
MSC records audit,
Yes.
3,000?
Estimated at $3,000, it's already in the budget to do that. All those, any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. And so voted. Okay, Mr. Chandler, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is this where you'd like me, or?
That's
Yes.
fine. Yep. As you all know, Mr. Chandler is the interim administrator of the Mountain View community.
And I'm assuming part of this meeting, you'd like an update of
Sure.
the previous week. What's notable in terms of the accomplishment side has been going on with meetings with staff, residents, leadership meeting, and preparation of a preliminary operation plan. Not yet implemented, depending on how things go forward.
Mhm.
Looking ahead in the short term, this week's the family council meeting this Sunday. Areas of concerns are, well, actually, I suppose as a matter of protocol, you probably want to know that right now we're at a census of 100. We have a new admission coming in on Friday. So that the census is actually looking very strong, not completely full, but there's a balance of who we can accept based on needs, and there are 4 rooms that are same gender only, which is a little bit limiting, but not terribly limiting.
I guess I have a question. What do you mean that they are by gender only? They're private rooms.
Each of the pods have 2 rooms that apparently were designed for couples.
Yes.
So that when a woman is in one, because there's a shared access, they're larger.
Okay.
Another woman would only be, so it's
I
a
got you.
wonderful option that you have.
I got you.
I asked the same question this morning
Mhm.
when I heard that there was a gender question too, so.
I assume that's because of the bathroom.
I assume so too, but I need to actually physically look at least one of these 4 rooms to see what that configuration is, because I thought they were all private,
Yeah.
completely
There is a
private as
wall,
well.
I believe there's a wall between the 2 bedrooms.
And I think that makes it particularly well-suited for a married couple, which is, I think, what the intention
Yes.
was.
Mhm.
Or friends.
Or friends, or
families.
two
Family
people,
members.
but clearly 2 people of the same gender. So at different times, that might cause a delay. It won't affect overall census, but it might affect a delay in admission when you're looking for, in some cases, a male, or in some cases, a female.
We
Okay.
sat up against that for a number of years.
Things that we're preparing for virtually any day, if not today, inspection and survey. Budget preparation is certainly something that needs to be embarked upon soon. Part of what I'm also doing is, and it comes under the concern part, I want to be sure that the Director of Nursing Services is properly supported during this interim period. The longer the interim period, the more responsibility disproportionately falls upon Becky. She's
Right.
handling it well, and she is a consummate professional, but
Mhm.
don't want to exploit that. So I'm being sensitive to that. There are other, staff and resident morale issues that need to be monitored, along with ongoing human resources, concerns and questions, processes that need to be managed. Other than that, things would seem to be under pretty good control.
Have any questions? No?
No, I think not.
Okay, so we have 100 beds filled,
100 fill, and we'll have another admission on Friday.
and we still have 2 empty beds. What are we doing about those other 2 beds? Because they're gender?
There's inquiries made. I know one of the inquiries is wrong gender, and I'm not sure exactly what the status of the other is. I think we're still waiting for some medical certification on the other. We just had a discharge yesterday, so one just became available.
Okay. So you would say that by the end of the week, you're gonna have at least one of those beds filled?
Definitely.
You still have 2 empties that could possibly be filled next week?
That is the hope. I met with Jen yesterday to talk about admission strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And what we need to do, first and foremost, to serve the taxpayers and residents of Carroll County. But on the other hand, when there are empty rooms,
Mhm.
how with private pay, that can be balanced in a way that would still benefit the taxpayers of the county.
Okay.
And the empty rooms also, we have to keep in mind, it's not just gender, but it's also acuities and,
Well,
Depending on which floor and so forth.
well, exactly, because in one case, there was a potential admission, but wrong gender, but also it was in Shaw, in the Shaw neighborhood, and this particular lady didn't have any cognitive problems, so she wasn't considered to be appropriate for that. Be very sensitive to that, and that's another thing that Jen and I talked about too, is being sure that we get the right people in the right place, because if we rush to judgment and try to satisfy somebody for the moment, and create a bigger problem.
When you have to change it.
We've hurt reputation and potentially quality of care in the process.
Absolutely.
So if waiting a week makes a difference, it's better to wait a week than to put somebody in the wrong area.
Thank you.
Okay. Any
And-
further questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Is there a waiting list? Did they give you the waiting list?
There is, I'm not aware of a wait list.
Oh, okay.
Because we have empty beds. We do have at least 2 inquiries who are in process. One that I know of there's a real question as to the applicant's health, whether his health and needs are appropriate to what we can do. And then there is another who is gender and cognitively inappropriate for where there is a bed. But hopefully we'll be developing actually a wait list by essentially doing marketing, by being sure that people know that we're here and getting people to think about it in advance.
I think you'll find that there is a waiting list.
Yes.
There is, okay.
Oh, yes, there should be a waiting list. There has been
3-year
over
waiting list.
30
Yeah.
people on the waiting list for several months.
Well, okay, and I'll check with Jen
Yeah, please do.
to see why, if that's the case.
Now, waiting
Well,
list may
oftentimes-
mean.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
oftentimes, there's a waiting list, but the people aren't ready to come in.
Oh,
Right.
that
That's what I
doesn't
was gonna
surprise me at all.
Yeah.
But at least that's a starting point of people that I'd like to see with that group, that we contact them almost once a month to keep them informed, that if we can, to bring them in even for social things, to start the process well in advance, so that when that room comes available, it's not a complete sudden shock to them,
Mhm.
that they're more likely to say yes at the right time.
Okay.
That sounds like a good idea.
All right, very good, thank you. Anything else?
No, that's all I have. Now, is it your practice, custom, or expectation that I stay or
No.
leave?
No.
I would like you to stay through Horace
Oh, okay.
while he's here, okay?
Okay, I'd be glad
And
to.
he's next on the agenda, so Rob, you want to come up too?
Good morning.
Yeah, yeah. The question has come up regarding free meals. My recommendation, and that's mine, I will wait to hear from the other two, is that only county employees that are hired as county employees have free meals. I'm not sure if this has changed, but what I'm getting at, the 3 commissioners, we have a contract, so to speak. We're not fully county employees. We should pay for our meals, okay? The next question comes, we have Genesis in the rehab.
Right.
Their contract, they should pay for the meals. They're not county employees,
Okay. Sure.
okay? The doctors are not really county employees. They're contract people too. Dietitian, is she contract?
Yes, consultant.
Consultant, so she should pay too. Mr. Rich from Cybertron, he should be paying too.
I just became aware of that, and, our policy has always been, to charge, any vendors or, visitors, anyone that's not a nursing home employee. Our policy has been, if you're a nursing home employee, because the union receives a free meal.
Right,
All of the nursing home employees only.
yep,
Exactly.
And, when I,
including the jail.
Jails.
I don't want to leave the jail out.
yeah, the jail,
Yeah.
is also free.
Yep. Okay, can you think of anybody else that would fall into the category that would be exempt from paying?
No, it will be a change in our policy to have Genesis employees pay.
What do you think? I
Well-
mean, that's my opinion, but what do you think?
They're nursing home employees. I mean, they act, every day as if they're integrated into the
Mhm.
work group there. So, I mean,
I think that might.
You think they should be exempt?
I think as long as we allow nursing home employees, to receive free meals, that they should be included in the
Included?
nursing home employee group.
Okay.
I mean,
Anybody else you can think of?
Pretty much, I'm on the record, and I think I have been in the past, that I oppose all free meals. I think,
Mhm.
the county should move towards charging every employee for meals.
Okay. Okay.
But as long as we have, a policy where it is included in the union contract as a benefit, that anyone working, as an employee of the nursing home.
Right, right.
And the Genesis group is, they're paid by Genesis, but they work right alongside everyone else there.
Yeah. Ann, I'll let you speak, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really intend to interrupt your meeting. However, on this issue, I have comments.
Go
4
ahead.
years ago, the delegation removed the free lunch from our benefits, okay? Since
Yeah.
then, the people in my department have never gone over until you open the new cafe, and we readily pay for the convenience,
Yeah.
for the good food, for the nice service, and every part of it. We gladly pay. And I think, I understand the nursing home, because for them to leave, go out and come back, their time away from patients is better served if they can get their food right there, if it's part of their labor union contract. But for the rest of the employees who are not union, we pay. I know, I see people from the sheriff's department going over, I see them pay.
Mm-hmm.
I know the county attorney's office pays,
Yep.
we pay.
Yep.
So I don't want you to
There was-
think
there
that
was some-
Bob's out there.
No, there were some outside people that was questionable. I agree with you that they were paying.
Well, I just-
If a regular employee, even a union employee, would get a free meal, but that's a particular meal. If they want a sub or something else from the cafe, they pay for that particular meal, okay?
Well, we appreciate the lack of time that we lose by being able to go over, get a good sandwich and gladly pay. The fee
Yep.
is very reasonable,
Yep.
and
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't really think that there are employees that are getting free lunch, except for those who are covered under the union contracts, as Robert said. And
Yeah.
I've always had a lot of good things to always say about the service that we get and the quality of the food. So I'm here to speak up for Rob.
Okay.
I think,
Thank you.
that case with the employee from the computer services was,
IT.
yeah, that was a mistake on our cashier's part. And once I became aware of it, I questioned them and we corrected it right away.
Okay, okay. Anything else you can think of regarding meals, lunches, and so forth, that there may be some areas that we should make some decisions on, or are you
I think-
satisfied with the way it is
No,
now?
I think it's good. The cafe is starting to build up, a following, and
Mhm.
we're marketing it internally anyway, and running specials, and they seem to be well received. So
Okay.
it's working as it was planned. So I think generally a pretty successful small cafe.
I hear
Mhm.
the word has gotten out to the people who are over in the county courthouse.
Yes, and we even have some of the bus drivers from that Carroll County Bus Service
Oh,
and
right.
Yeah.
local businesses, etc.
So they put their order in early enough so you have time to prepare
Yeah,
it?
we get orders from the FedEx delivery guy and the UPS and,
Really?
Good.
yeah.
Good. This offering you have back here, is that paying off?
It's starting to, yes.
It's
It's offsetting
starting
the
to.
expense, yep.
I put
If-
out IOU in, I only had a $20 bill.
If you feel that it isn't, then we'll discontinue it.
Yeah,
Okay?
it seems-
Everybody pays, or we don't have it,
Right.
okay? And I think maybe on those special meals, those subs and so forth, for $2, that's pretty reasonable. You might want to look at
Sometimes it's $2.99 depending on what it is.
what it is.
Yeah.
How about the
Okay.
sandwich, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's, you can't buy it anyplace else for $2. So we need to be aware of that.
And we are starting to use, this time of year, we're using some of the, county-grown vegetables,
Yeah.
et cetera, as well, making our own tomato sauce and soups and vegetables from the farm, so it's
Okay, good.
nice.
Good. Okay, do either one of you have any questions of Rob?
No.
If not, that's what, unless you got something else. You got anything else you want to?
No, everything else seems to be fine, and I think I'm clear on, what the policy is in terms of the free meals, and we'll just make sure that the cashiers,
Okay.
again,
Make them
are
aware of it.
They weren't sure, I think, who that person was, whether he was or wasn't a
Yeah.
nursing home
Yeah.
employee.
Yeah.
And I'll be down to take care of my account later on.
Very good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Okay. Done. Geez, we're running a little ahead of time now.
Yeah. Did we have anything here? Public minutes?
Do we have any extension council meetings that you may have attended?
No,
No?
there's a meeting coming up. There was no meeting, at least not while I was, no, there was no other meeting.
Okay. Do you have anything that you want to report on?
No.
Okay. Okay, I guess we're waiting for Jason Johnson.
Is
Take
I-
public
coming
input?
for public?
Oh, wait a minute. You're here for non-public, both of you? Okay.
Jason Johnson's coming for public?
I assume he's coming for public, but he's not due till 10:15.
Then we have maybe public input now.
Yeah, I just got one or two other items. We're going to enforce the 15 minutes public input at the beginning and at the end. In the past, we've probably gone a half an hour, maybe three-quarters of an hour with public input. I wanted to be fair to everybody, but we're not being fair to those people that are being paid as department heads to sit here and listen when they should be working. So we're going to follow the agenda fairly closely. Only under certain circumstances would we increase the time limit. At the end of the meeting, however, we might want to consider going a little bit longer. But right now, it's 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after. I am listening to my constituents. I've learned a lot over this past weekend, especially yesterday during the primary. Several people came up to me and said, you need to take back control of the commissioners' meeting. I plan on doing that. I'm going to have a gavel here. I will cut people off if I don't think they're on track with what is being discussed. And I will ask at the beginning of the minutes of the meeting if there's any further agenda, and we'll stick to the agenda. Somebody comes up with another agenda, I'm going to rule them out of order, and we'll move on. I would open it up for suggestions as to what I've just said. It's not, I think it was unusual for the number of people on the two places that I visited, Conway and Wolfboro, that came up to me, and I didn't even know who they were, saying that we are watching it on our computer, on our TV, and it's disgusting, it's embarrassing. I was concerned that I might lose the primary, but what happened, it reacted differently, and actually it helped me in the long run. However, I understand what their concerns are, and we will try to make corrections as we move along. The other item I'd like to say is on last Friday, when I attended the New Hampshire Association of Counties, this program, our commissioners' meetings are being filmed all over the state. All the other counties are listening to our meeting, and they can't believe it either, what's happening here. When they take a break at their meetings, they're listening to the computer and the filming of this meeting as probably entertainment. They cannot see how this can continue, and I've assured those that express their opinion to me that it will be corrected. So, that said, I would ask for any comments on what I just got through saying. Mr. Babson.
Congratulations for your victory, and I think you're headed in the right direction by making these meetings more civil. That's not really what I wanted to say. My concern is oftentimes somebody will come in here and the public might develop a question, and then it's public input. Next week, can you ask so-and-so, and then you come back in a week later and tell. I don't think it's necessary for every single person that comes in here that the public be able to ask questions. but when a man comes in selling a pellet stove or whatever it may be, and you may not see him again, I would like to see the board give the public an opportunity, maybe for all the only reason they might have a little more knowledge about whatever the subject is and can help you people.
Okay,
But not every time,
Yeah.
just somebody you know that's not gonna return.
okay. I think I've
And
said,
you've done a pretty good job of that, I think.
yeah, I think I've said many times that I appreciate the public input. It gives a different opinion, it may be coming in from a different direction. As you say, there may be some expertise out there that we don't have. And so I do appreciate public input. Some of the things we may overlook, you people pick up, and we're glad to try to respond to that. I think we need to keep it pertinent to the subject at hand and then move forward. Daymond, you have a
Yeah, I was just curious if we're gonna name the next county nursing home administrator today, or if that would be done in a follow-up.
That has not been decided yet. We are waiting for one person to get his license. That could determine who the person might be. And I guess that's all I can say right now.
Okay, so this isn't gonna be a matter of hours or days, it could
No,
be.
but we do want to do it fairly quickly because we are anticipating a survey. We would like to have that person on board.
Okay,
Because budgeting is coming up also, which is a major job for the administrator. And so it's important that we do act fairly quickly. I think we've got two good candidates. And it's a matter of the recommendation from the committee that interviewed those two candidates as to where we take action.
was the committee meeting yesterday, or was that the commission?
Monday.
That was Monday.
Monday, okay.
Yeah. And we, to open it up, if I didn't explain that before, we had 9 candidates. We had 4 that we actually interviewed. We narrowed it down to 2, and the committee felt that they didn't have enough time with those 2, and so we called them back Monday, and we spent at least an hour with each one of them in asking questions and having a good discussion back and forth to help us come up with a decision. It's very difficult because we have 2 people with 2 different ways of managing. And it's hard to make a decision, even though after the committee has come up with a recommendation. Okay? I think you got a question, Mr. Babson?
Oh, I thought you were concluding that portion of your discussion, and I was gonna ask if you're open for public input.
No, we're gonna have Jason Johnson come up first,
Oh, he's here, okay.
not the non-public, but public information. Jason?
Sure.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. Chairman, while I think of it, can we ask Jason about the communication?
Yes, we
That
can.
we discussed at the end?
This morning we have 44 in-house, 0 weekenders, 0 on electronic monitoring, 5 transfers, 5 on the pretrial release program for a 54 total population. Took in 12 inmates last week, 4 were repeaters and 16 were released. Repeater charges, 1 came in for disorderly conduct ×2, booked 2 times this year. 1 for protective custody, booked 4 times in 2 years. 1 for second-degree assault and protective custody, booked 6 times in 7 years, and 1 for an electronic bench warrant, booked 3 times this year. We received a letter from the Town of Moulton Borough Selectman's Office, I think you guys got a copy of it as well, in regards to the, our...
Was it an email?
No, it was a letter.
Was it a letter?
Yep.
Did you get
At the bottom,
Did
it
you
just
get
said,
I didn't get one.
no, it said CC County Commissioner,
Okay.
so...
Maybe
okay.
it's on our desk now.
Okay. Well, anyways, it was in regards to us going over to help clean up their old landfill. They're just thanking us.
Oh,
as-
thanking us, not
Mhm.
requesting.
No,
Oh, okay,
thanking
I'm
us.
sorry. Go
Yep. So, my apologies, it said CC you guys at the bottom of the letter, so.
Yeah.
This coming Friday, at our superintendent's meeting, we're going to have the National Institute of Corrections performing a curriculum review. Superintendent White may have spoken about this last Friday at the executive meeting. So that's going to be taking place this coming Friday.
And hopefully they're going to be looking at changing some of the regulations or procedures.
The administrative rules.
Administrative rules. Go ahead.
That's all I had to report on
Okay.
that. Yep.
I have a question. That panel that has been meeting to go over recidivism, is there another meeting coming up?
I sent out an email asking about a future date, and I just hadn't heard back from anybody. The only person that responded to the email was Chuck Wolford. I know the judge's schedule was tied up, but nobody else had responded.
It's important that the judge be there, so I would try to coordinate with him as to when he is available.
Sure.
And also, I got his note on my desk. He would like to be involved, and he was involved before, but he wants to make sure he's on the mailing list. I can't think of his name.
What's he do?
My last contact with him, he was associated with the church right here in Ossipee.
Okay.
I got his name on my desk, so I'll make sure you get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I think a couple weeks ago, we got from HR that there was a supervising training or academy in Rochester. Did you send anyone from the jail
Yes.
to attend it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how many people?
One supervisor went down.
And it was in Rochester?
Yes.
Or I think it just started? Okay.
Yes. 2-week program, I think. It's either a full week, they go
I
twice.
think it's 4.
4 weeks? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I have one supervisor in it.
So, okay.
Was that an academy, or was that separate from the academy?
It's a supervisor's academy, it's totally different. Yeah,
Okay.
it's sponsored by Primex.
Okay. Anything further?
No. Are you coming in non-public, or are you just public?
Non-public, ma'am.
Are you coming?
Jason, we attended a subcommittee meeting on the telephone system. Is there any further information we need to know about?
I'm trying to look online for the RFP. I put in a call to the nursing home to see what they use for their RFP. I've also contacted Superintendent Ward out of Belknap County to see what they used, and if there's anything else out there that I can use to put this thing together.
RFP, yeah.
I think we talked about, at the meeting, we talked about the reason that we called in that gentleman was that he had done the work at the nursing home. However, the actual need is not that we have a way of dealing with the nursing home, but rather with the administration building.
Sure.
So
I spoke to Kathy last week, and she's going to get me the name of the individual that installed the system here, and that would give us 3 different vendors that we could talk to.
Yeah, okay, because here is where you meet.
Right.
And what about with the courthouse? Is there a need to do something with them as well?
If we could get, as far as extensions and see what system that they have in place, sure.
And what about the sheriff's office?
They would fall under this building,
Okay,
I would think.
I think Mr. Babson has a...
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Babson. Since you're on the subcommittee and you interviewed the 2 companies so far, go ahead.
Thank you. My only question on the courthouse would be, that's a state facility,
Right.
and why should we be paying, unless we have an arrangement with the state to help us put the lines in, why would we be even considering hooking them up, unless we want to spend our own money on
It's
it?
better communication for us, but the state would pay for it.
You'd hope the state would pay for
Well,
it.
then it wouldn't happen.
They may not.
Then we
Then it
won't
wouldn't
have it.
happen. Easy.
I asked, at one of the sessions yesterday I was at, there was a police officer there, and I asked him how friendly the House of Corrections is as far as bringing people in, and he says it's perfect. He had no problems, felt that they were I don't want to say polite, but almost polite, in handling inmates that that particular department brings in. So it's a good credit to you
Thanks, sir.
and your people. Anybody else got any question? Any follow-up on that telephone, Mr. Babson?
Oh, that's just, I wanted to make sure the thing is continuing to move forward, that's all.
Mhm. Okay.
As Dottie said, the gentleman, the actor, promoter, or whatever he was, the last one that did such a good job,
Yep.
he informed us the stuff parts would still be available on the internet, so.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
don't sit back and wait till the last pieces.
I'm assuming that because it's not in this year's budget, that this would be budgeted for next year, right? Okay. Was there anybody in your subcommittee comment as to where the money's gonna come from?
Not that I can recall, and I'm speaking just for myself. I haven't
Yep.
polled Harry
Yep.
or Representative McCarthy, but I had the gut feeling that they both agreed, and I think Dottie was there as an observer, and she agrees.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yeah, excuse me, Commissioner Solomon.
Thank you.
And,
As I remember, Representative McCarthy said that we should go with go for, he didn't say this exactly, but go for broke, do the
whole
entire
system?
thing.
yes.
Rather than phase it in?
Yes.
But when we phase it in, what are we talking about phasing it in? Certain phases within the nursing home, within the jail? Or is it phasing in the jail and then the administration building? How big a phasing in are we talking about?
I think Commissioner Solomon will agree with me, and Director Johnson will also, that I got the impression that as the stuff either wears out or outlives, its life's gone, then you bring it in, not right away.
But could
He
we?
stressed, in fact, I thought, don't do it all at once, do it piecemeal as your equipment wears out. That was what I got out of it.
And if it wears out and we lose communications,
Yeah, we can't-
Well, I mean, if you're getting down towards the end of life on the equipment, do it. If you still get a 5-year life expectancy on
Okay.
it, don't do it now, wait till 4 years or 3 years and then do it. That's how I interpreted it.
okay. Any estimate as to the cost?
Well, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I pretty much dropped the figure that Mr. Blackbox gave us, and he said his only comment was, I think you'll be very surprised at my price, indicating to me that it would be much lower.
Lower than what?
So
Just a low price?
No, I mentioned the 12 to 16,000 that we've been
Oh.
quoted to fix, and he said, he thought we'd be surprised, I think were his exact words, at how
Okay.
low he'd be.
And as a follow-up, he hasn't provided a quote. We gave him kind of what, and he might be waiting for the RFP to come out so he
Yeah.
can respond to that.
Yeah.
But he hasn't called back and said that this is what he could do.
Okay. To change the subject, I have a question for you. How many inmates are in your facility that can be let out to work, and how many are let out to work?
We hadn't sent anybody out right now, Commissioner.
Because of,
The lack of people that we have available to do all the jobs inside the facility and outside. And we got some people that are out on work release, some with medical restrictions. So right now, I hadn't sent anybody out.
okay.
We're gonna need.
I would like to
find
talk with you about that,
Sure.
because they got hay that they gotta get in either today or tomorrow.
Mhm.
And if we can squeeze some out,
Mhm.
I think it would be well worth the effort,
Mhm.
okay?
Sure.
Okay. Anybody got any further questions, Jason? If not, thank you, and we will have you stay for non-public.
Janice just came in. Janice just came in. Is she staying for the next?
Yeah, I think so. Janice, I assume you're staying for the non-public, or do you have something you want to talk about? Okay. Okay, then, at this point in time, we'll open it up for public comment. Go ahead, Mr. Babson.
I have 3 things, Mr. Chairman. Are we paying Mr. Rich by the hour when he's here, answering Commissioner Kenny's allegations? Or is he on just a?
He's on a contract,
Contract.
so I would assume, I haven't seen a bill from him, so I'm assuming that it's in the contract.
Okay.
I realize he's spending a lot of time, a lot of effort to produce the information that he's doing, and I am assuming, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that's on his time.
Could you check that and find
Yep.
out, please? The
Can
next
I
question
say
is,
something? I don't think it is his time because it is a contract, so he can come anytime here. He doesn't slide in a car, so we don't know when he is here, when he'll leave, and how long he is here.
As long as he's doing the job.
When he is an hour here or he's not coming at all, he's just getting paid. So whatever he's spending his time doing work or sitting here for hours, he's getting paid.
My comment to
think
that
we
would
should-
be
I
that
think
he's
we
on a
should- We
contract,
should go by the hour.
and if any one department head has a complaint about their computer system, then we would address that. Right now, I have not, unless somebody else has, I have not heard any complaints from the department heads as to that he's not doing his job that the contract calls for. So, I'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
number 2, I understood you people to say that you discussed in non-public session going out to quote for the MDS person.
Right.
Why
Not-
would that be non-public? Why, if you're gonna discuss hiring, putting together a
Go ahead.
quote, why wouldn't it be public?
It came up, excuse me, it came up on Monday when we were talking with the, we were interviewing the two gentlemen. And because it came up there, we wanted to get it started so that Debbie could get the request,
Advertisement.
the request for the advertising out. We were at a time restraints on this. That's why we did it then.
Can I
To
add-
further say
Can I
that,
just add something? We just did a continue of the interview in non-public session. We went out of non-public session and went back into public session and talk about these two items, and today we brought it for the public.
the reason for that is we're due to have a survey anytime, and we want to make sure that that MDS coordinator's position is filled as quickly as possible with a experienced person. And the audit is the same reason. We want to make sure that we're all up to date, because we could get some serious demerits if that MDS record-keeping system isn't where it should be. So we wanted to
Well, we
move
could be
quickly, and
losing
so
money.
that's been started, and we wanted to bring it out to the public today. We had mentioned that at that time. We would do that.
I don't question the need for it, and it's perfectly good. But it was in a non-public session, and I think there ought to be some system in the board where if there's stuff that takes by accident or on purpose, and this one was on purpose and non-public, that somehow it ought to be added to the minutes, maybe under a special section, that this subject was broached in non-public, and it's really public information, and then put it in here.
Yeah.
We didn't hear it when it talked about the minutes. When you talked about the non-public minutes, you didn't mention that it happened. It just came up when you were talking to Mr. Chandler, I
Yeah.
believe, and I think.
I believe
Well-
Commissioner Kenny is correct that we did go out of non-public and into public to do those two items of MDS.
Well, that's fine, I'm not even arguing with it, I just think that for the sake of transparency, instead of some of these minutes are 14 months old,
Yeah.
and to say, oh, well,
Well,
we did that number.
it is
Just
on
get
my-
it out there, it's just easy to say,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, on last Monday, when we had this discussion, we had to bring up the discussion of
Yeah.
MDS.
Yeah.
It's in my notes here for the agenda. I have it on my agenda notes. It's not in yours, I put it in to
And
make
we-
sure that we did it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run against you, Dottie, but I'm not gonna follow you around or try to read your agenda, so let's get it out here. The last one, oh, well, I guess we don't need to, I was just wondering what the history of the meals are. In my time in the delegation, I was of the impression at some point, we took meals out of the contract and left it in just for the jail because those people couldn't leave to go over. Is it now back in, it's now back in the contract? I'm sure it came out at one point.
Since I was elected, Brenda Presby was a union contract representing the Board of Commissioners. It was out in, let's see,
I believe, Mr. Chairman, it was either
if
out
I
and back
remember
in
right,
and came out or
it
something.
it was in and everybody had to pay. And when she negotiated with the union contract and negotiations gave the employees at the nursing home and the jail a free meal. That was negotiated in with the union contract. So I guess, what is your point now?
Oh, just to get the history, because I'm sure with the issue of free meals and Mr. Rich, it's gonna come up again at some point. And,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have a chronological.
Yeah, I will say that, again, back several years ago, the commissioners used to get a free meal, and the reason for that was to check out, to make sure the quality of the meal was proper.
I missed that, yeah.
Okay? And good quality, right temperature, and so
And that
on
the
and so
building was
forth,
warm,
to give
yeah.
some justification for a free meal, all right?
Just like you check out the muffins.
Okay.
Yes.
Anybody else wants public input? Mr. Brown?
At the presentation of the trails,
Oh, it's bigger.
Yes.
the responsibility was turned over to the commissioners.
Right.
So that was my question. How much is it gonna cost to build them? How much is it gonna cost to maintain them? So how much is it gonna cost the taxpayers?
Right now, we don't know that. We haven't formed, if you recall, there was a recommendation to us to form a committee to look into all those things. Whether we go out to individual donors to donate a particular station along the trail, exercise station. We still need to look at expense as far as what the trail is gonna be made out of. We don't exactly know exactly, I mean, we've got a drawing as to where the trail is going, but it may be that it might be moved a little bit, and the farm would be doing a lot of the clearing. However, if we don't have inmates to help do that, it's gonna delay it. Okay? But as far as the taxpayers pay money, I think we have, I shouldn't say I think, I should say I know, but I know we have $4,000, we may have 5. We had 2 or 3 from the insurance company, because they felt it was good, health-wise, for our employees to get out. And then the 501c3, what's the correct title?
The Friends of Mountain.
Friends of Mountain View.
Donated $2,000.
They came and gave us $2,000 donation to help move that forward. We have gone over the trail. I'm not sure Will has gone over it completely. So that's where it stands. So I don't know what it's gonna cost the taxpayers. Hopefully, nothing. There's nothing in the budget for
The
it.
point of my question.
Yep.
Was that, how much is it gonna cost the taxpayers?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been donations, but, no, I was wondering how,
Yep.
how much the total cost is,
Yep.
who's gonna take care of the upkeep?
Yep, okay, to answer a portion of your question, my feeling is, it's gonna cost the taxpayers through the farm and through the inmates to clear the trail. Cut the brush, pull out the stumps, put in the whatever the gravel path or asphalt or whatever it happens to be. That's gonna be part of the taxpayers' cost as they're working here. That's all I can think of right now. You had a comment, or?
Well, I just wanted to add to that, when we gave our presentation, we gave you the money, and yes, we gave you the responsibility, but one of the things that we had talked about, and I wanted to wait until your new human resources person came on board, was to put something on the web.
Yep.
To inform all the people that work here of Carroll County, that to form a group to take charge of this project, so it doesn't get put out here somewhere and forgotten. I mean, it's important. We worked really hard to do this. It was all volunteer work and time, raising the money, and going out and figuring out the trail, and, I mean, we've done a lot of that
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll cost the taxpayers anything. I think a lot of people would come and volunteer. You could have a clear the trails day.
Yeah.
But I think that the employees now need to pick this up
Mm-hmm.
and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
We've laid the groundwork for you.
Since that meeting, an individual came in who is not an employee here, who said that there are groups out there, and I think he mentioned Boy Scouts,
Mhm.
that would be looking at a project for an Eagle Scout. I said that too. He picked up on it, and he's looking into it. I've asked, we asked the chairman of the Extension Council. She had some organization
Yes, that's right. She had a
that
group
would
of
come in and
people
do a lot of the work
For free.
for free.
Or housing, actually. I think she said if you provide them
Housing.
housing, they do
For
everything
housing.
else.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
AmeriCorps.
So, yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna cost the taxpayers of Carroll County
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah. My hopes would be that the trail gets cut out this winter and some action, some movement forward is taken. I know Mr. Babson during the primaries has suggested that we have 900 acres, I think it's more like 840, but that we have 900 acres of land that is not being used for any kinds of recreation. We had talked about that with the forester and laying out trails up on the mountain. We have to be careful because that's where our water system is, but there's still a lot of land up there that could be used for cross-country trails or snowshoeing, that kind of a thing in the wintertime. So, you know, if we can get out of the situation that we're in and get moving forward and doing positive things here instead of negative things and trying to come up with solutions, we need to come up with solutions for moving forward, so.
Yeah, can I add something quick?
Go ahead.
I missed that. What did you say? What was the total cost, the estimate
For-
of the trail?
For the
We don't
trail,
have a
Yes.
total cost. We have total
I don't-
how much money we've collected, not a total cost.
I think it was $4,000 that has been contributed towards the trail.
Oh, okay, but we don't have an estimate how much it's going to cost. Oh, okay.
No, no,
We have the donations, okay.
yeah.
May I?
Go ahead.
I would just like to say something for Friends of Mountain View. They have not made this statement here, so I would like to make it on camera. On October 2nd, there will be a fundraiser at the Spaghetti Shed in Glen. Much like what, for those of you who are familiar with what they do up in Flatbreads, some of the proceeds from the
Certain
meal,
percentage?
a certain percentage of the meal that you buy at the Spaghetti Shed on October 2nd will come back as monies to Mountain View community. So any of you out there, it's a good thing to do. You'll get a good meal. Go to the shed October 2nd.
And where is the
Thank you,
shed?
Commissioner.
It's in
Up
Glen.
in
Where?
Glen.
Glen.
I think
It's on Route 16.
Mhm.
It's on Route
I
16.
believe it's up in Bartlett, right?
Well, Bartlett, Glen, same area.
Well, okay.
It's on Route 302.
Oh, it's on 302. Sorry about. Thank you for the.
Oh, you're right.
Goes north,
Yep, yep, you're right.
Yes, right.
Sorry.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Glad you made that
What,
correction
it
for
is
me.
a restaurant?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a restaurant.
It's called the Shed.
The Spaghetti
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 Shed.
shed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Babs.
How does something as generous as this contribution is from the owner of these people, or owner of this shop, how does that come about? Does he have a relative here, or is he just truly a philanthropist and wants to give money? I think it's a very generous thing to do. And
He's asked.
How do we get more people to do it?
I don't know how they did it. I suspect somebody went and asked.
They do it every week for various organizations in the area.
Well, they do.
Yeah, every week it's a different,
Thank
just
you.
like Flatbread does one
Yep.
every week for a different.
Well, that's really generous.
And Flatbread, you have to sign up way in advance, because they have a lot of organizations that are looking for,
Yeah.
We're actually doing them too.
yeah.
When is that flatbread then? So the 2nd is the Spaghetti Shed?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
when is the flatbread?
I don't have the
It's-
date for the flatbread yet.
Oh,
You
there's
have
no
to-
date,
You have to
okay.
put it on and
I'll
they'll
let
let
you
you
know.
know.
And I just want you to know that I gave out a lot of those cards at a recent event that I went to.
Thank you.
And the
Okay.
Spaghetti Shed, is there a time?
It's whenever you go in,
Oh, so you can go,
yeah,
okay.
anytime you like. On the 2nd, though.
Okay.
It has to be on the 2nd of October. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
Okay, any further public input?
Does that happen to coincide with senior day at the Freiburg Fair? Maybe you
Is
could
it?
get free eats and free admission to the Freiburg Fair?
It's a little far from the Freiburg
I
Fair.
don't know, I don't know. Seeing no, you have, go ahead, Melissa.
Sorry to go back to the trail, but I was wondering, is the intention of the employee trail for it to also be open to the general public?
Sure,
Yes.
yep.
And
more importantly, for the residents, if the trail is such that they can go by wheelchair and so forth, yep.
okay. And also, when a committee is formed, would you consider having people from the community be on the committee, or just the employees?
No, anybody.
And so if someone was interested, they would just call the business office?
Yep.
Or send an email, or, thank you.
Maureen's got screwed up eyes.
Well, I guess in the discussion, my point about waiting till the new human resources person came on was you had told me last week
Yeah.
we could come up with a statement to put on the website, but I didn't
Yep.
know whether I needed to do that with Janice or you wanted me to do that with,
You do it with Janice.
okay.
Yep.
Is that all right with you? Okay. So I'll do that with her.
okay.
So there'll be something on the website, so you'll
Okay.
have information if you go on the website.
Janice, a question for you. I know it catch you off guard, but have you had a chance to look at the website and see what needs to be done with it?
I did look at it briefly. It hasn't been updated in a while, and I think there's a great deal that could.
Okay, I think, it's your department is in charge of it, so you do, whether you do it or Debbie does it. I'd like to see the budget, not the two-page budget, but the full budget on the website, so somebody can go look at any line item that's in it and see what the budget is. That was another comment I heard yesterday, that they wanted to see the full budget on it. Not only yesterday, but in a couple of the forums that I went to, the suggestion was made. I know it's a large document, so I'd welcome any comments, whether it can be put on, whether it can't, what the problems would be, okay? We need to use the website a little more than what we have in the past. Mr. Babson?
Well, I get two comments. The first one is, did my request for putting that on about 4 years fall on deaf ears? I mean, we've been talking about every time there's gonna be a new.
That's in the past, Mr. Babson, we're trying to
Moving
catch up.
forward, okay.
We're
let's
catching
get
up.
on. The second point is, Mr. Chairman, at our polling booth, the moderator, and I don't know how extensive she searched, but she told me that she was trying to find out what towns were in the different districts. And it's not, she said it's not on the website, and if it isn't, that's certainly something easily done, and we probably ought to
Yep.
do it.
And Janice, that is for commissioners, what districts they represent,
Yes.
and also what representatives in senator districts, see if it's available. I'm confused too as to what the reps represent, which towns, because they got switched around. I do know where my district is, and I'm sure the other two commissioners know theirs, but that should be on the website too. I think next time we have an election, and maybe it should be for the general election, Mr. Babson had an article in the paper saying who's running against who. There's so many people that are confused out there as to, they thought I was running against Mr. Babson or he was running against me. We're in two different districts, so there's a lot of confusion, and if we can try to eliminate some of that on the website, I think that would be good educational information. Okay. Melissa?
I have a PDF document of both the commission districts and the state districts that I would be happy to email.
Okay.
That would be helpful, so as not to reinvent the wheel. It came from the Secretary of State's office, so
Okay.
it's
Thank you.
a legitimate document.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good, good. I understand you have the results of all the elections, all the towns. I suppose that's going to come out in the paper at some point in time, but do you have a copy with you today?
It's not, I don't have a paper copy, it's on
Okay.
computer, but I emailed one to Kathy Gary and one to Laura.
You did?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think I also emailed it to all the commissioners. I didn't do it to the commissioners' email in the office. I sent it to your individual.
Individual? My email's been down.
And I
My wife's not
haven't
gonna
caught
pay
up.
for her contract either. She's so upset about it. But anyway. Go ahead.
I just haven't caught up with my emails. I'm still back about 200 emails.
I only did it at 3:45 this morning, so.
Oh. Definitely, I
Long
haven't
night.
looked in.
Okay.
I didn't receive anything.
I
Okay.
haven't either.
I did not.
I'll make sure I have your correct email if you want to write it down, make sure I have it.
You sent it to our personal email?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I didn't get it.
Okay, no further public comment? Then I would close this session and go into non-public session for union and personnel issues. I'd make that a motion.
I'll
Do I hear a
second
second?
that. I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Roll
Yeah.
call?
Can you tell me
Oh.
what are we going into? It's a personal issue, which department?
Jail,
Okay, we're going for the jail.
House of Correction.
Yeah, personal issues.
And union issues.
Says non-public union and
So
personal
we go for
issues.
union, okay.
Okay?
Commissioner Kenny, yes. Commissioner Solomon,
Yes?
Commissioner Sorensen.
Yes, then so voted. Thank you very much. Congratulations to those who won in the primary.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can move forward.
Excuse me, can you hold
Go
on
ahead.
the meeting before I attend?